Good morning, guys. I'm Miss Barrueta here at Flex High North Flint. I'm one of the math teachers, and my favorite book is Angela's Ashes by Frank McCourt. It's a true story about his tough childhood in Ireland, and I'm just gonna give you a little summary before I do my excerpt so you have a better idea of what the book's about. When I look back on my childhood, I wonder how I managed to survive it all. It was, of course, a miserable childhood. The happy childhood is hardly worth your while. Worse than the ordinary miserable childhood is the miserable Irish childhood, and worse yet is the miserable Irish Catholic childhood. So begins the Pulitzer Prize-winning memoir of Frank McCourt. Born in Depression-era Brooklyn to recent Irish immigrants and raised in the slums of Limerick, Ireland. Frank's mother, Angela, has no money to feed the children since Frank's father, Malachi, rarely works, and when he does, he drinks his wages. Yet Malachi, exasperating, irresponsible, and beguiling, does nurture in Frank an appetite for the one thing he can provide, a story. Frank lives for his father's tales of Cuchulainn Lane, who saved Ireland, and the angel on the seventh step who brings his mother babies. Perhaps it is story that accounts for Frank's survival. Wearing rags for diapers, begging a pig's head for Christmas dinner, and gathering coal from the roadside to light a fire. Frank endures poverty, near starvation, and the casual cruelty of relatives and neighbors, yet lives to tell his tale with eloquence, exuberance, and remarkable forgiveness. So I'm going to read to you a little bit of that eloquence now. I know when Dad does the bad thing. I know when he drinks the dole money and Mam is desperate and has to beg at the St. Vincent de Paul Society and ask for credit at Kathleen O'Connell's shop. But I don't want to back away from him and run to Mam. How can I do that when I'm up with him early every morning with the whole world asleep? He lights the fire and makes the tea and sings to himself or reads the paper to me in a whisper that won't wake up the rest of the family. Mikey Malloy stole Cuchulainn Lane. The angel on the seventh step is gone someplace else. But my father in the morning is still mine. He gets the Irish press early and tells me about the world. Hitler, Mussolini, Franco. He says this war is none of our business because the English are up to their tricks again. He tells me about the great Roosevelt in Washington and the great De Valera in Dublin. In the morning, we have the world to ourselves, and he never tells me I should die for Ireland. He tells me about the old days in Ireland when the English wouldn't let the Catholics have schools because they wanted to keep the people ignorant. That the Catholic children met in hedge schools in the depths of the country and learned English, Irish, Latin, and Greek. The people loved learning. They loved stories and poetry, even if none of this was any good for getting a job. Men, women, and children would gather in ditches to hear these great masters, and everyone wondered at how much a man could carry in his head. The masters risked their lives going from ditch to ditch and hedge to hedge, because if the English caught them teaching, they might be transported to foreign parts or worse. He tells me school is easy now. You don't have to sit in a ditch learning your sums or the glorious history of Ireland. I should be good in school, and someday I'll go back to America and get an inside job where I'll be sitting at a desk with 2 fountain pens in my pocket, one red and one blue, making decisions. I'll be in out of the rain, and I'll have a suit and shoes and a warm place to live. And what more can a man want? He says you can do anything in America. It's a land of opportunity. You can be a fisherman in Maine or a farmer in California. America is not like Limerick, a gray place with a river that kills. When you have your father to yourself by the fire in the morning, you don't need Cuchulainn Lane or the angel on the seventh step or anything. At night, he helps us with our exercises. Mam says they call it homework in America, but here it's exercises. The sums, the English, the Irish, the history. He can't help us with Irish because he's from the north and lacking in the native tongue. Malachi offers to teach him all the Irish words he knows, but Dad says it's too late. You can't teach an old dog a new bark. Before bed, we sit around the fire, and if we say, "Dad, tell us a story," he makes up one about someone in the lane, and the story will take us all over the world. Up in the air, under the sea, and back to the lane. Everyone in the story is a different color, and everything is upside down and backward. Motor cars and planes go underwater, and submarines fly through the air. Sharks sit in trees, and giant salmon sport with kangaroos on the moon. Polar bears wrestle with elephants in Australia, and penguins teach Zulus how to play bagpipes. After the story, he takes us upstairs and kneels with us while we say our prayers. We say the Our Father, 3 Hail Marys, God bless the Pope, God bless Ma'am, God bless our dead sister and brothers, God bless Ireland, God bless De Valera, and God bless anyone who gives Dad a job. He says, "Go to sleep, boys, because Holy God is watching you, and he always knows if you're not good." I think my father is like the Holy Trinity with 3 people in him. The one in the morning with the paper, the one at night with the stories and the prayers, and then the one who does the bad thing and comes home with the smell of whiskey and wants us to die for Ireland. I feel sad over the bad thing, but I can't back away from him because the one in the morning is my real father. And if I were in America, I could say, "I love you, Dad," the way they do in the films. But you can't say that in Limerick for fear you might be laughed at. You're allowed to say you love God and babies and horses that win, but anything else is a softness in the head. And so that's just a little bit of, his really rough life, but his positive outlook. And he just always gave me hope, if he can make it, I can, and so can the rest of you. So I hope you enjoyed that and that you have a great day. Feel free to leave a comment. Thanks. Bye.